Hi, it's Anna. I actually today felt pretty good. I cut my hair. My hair was about to my rear end, and I cut it, and I'm gonna have a little bit more cut and thinned because it's kind of thick. So anyway, today was a much better day for me. Trying to get this camera on my face. So I have had a pretty productive day. I did not get to talk to my psychiatrist like I wanted to. Maybe we need to up my medication. I've got shadows. There we go. I was thinking that maybe I'm just on a therapeutic level, or am I even saying that right? But I need to up more where it's an actual level perhaps that's working. That'll be working for me. Because I feel nothing on it. I mean, I've been on just about every antidepressant out there, I've said before, and this one is the one that has no side effects. And it seems to work to a point, but not where I want to be. So I was thinking a lot today, off and on, while I was just pretty much binge watching TV and piddling around here, dusting and crap, that I remember Brooke Shields when she got pregnant. I remember her mentioning she was, and I remember she had her baby and she fell into a postpartum depression. And I remember, the reason I do remember this is because I remember Tom Cruise gave her a lot of crap about it, because he's a Scientologist, and I don't know if they believe in taking any drugs at all, ever, or if it's just drugs for our minds. I don't know. But I remember that they were kind of going back and forth a little bit about that. And she was saying she needed, look, she didn't want to breastfeed her child, she didn't want to hold her baby. And he was saying she doesn't need anything. And then I remember she did, of course, go with Western medicine, and she went on antidepressants, as a lot of you may know. And a lot of women do. She was on them for, I don't know how long, but it wasn't years. It wasn't a life. She's not on them now. It wasn't a lifetime. And then her postpartum depression is gone. What's so different? Now I know, because I have a child, that when you get pregnant, progesterone kicks in, which is a really, really good hormone for people, and women tend to carry a lot of that. And then after we have our child, that progesterone may drop down and estrogen takes over, and estrogen is a hormone that we need, but it's not so good for us. It tends to cause breast cancer and other cancers, and maybe it messes with our mind. And that could be just something that happened. After having the child, the progesterone dropped, because it does, and then estrogen kicked up really high on her, because it can. And I do know. I've never taken estrogen. I've always turned it down. And that could be one very important factor. Something else I was thinking about is the antidepressants. When your doctor prescribes an antidepressant, take it. I mean, really, take it. But don't forget to question, the mind, what they know, what they've learned, what they're doing. am I going to have to be on this for life? And if you ask that question, because I have, the answer was yes. And I don't want to believe that. But I'll see what I can do about it. Anyway, question your doctor. Write down, I had a lot of good thoughts. I did not write them down, but I'm asking anybody who will ever see this to write them down. Write down questions that are important to you about your depression, how you got it, where does it come from, what helps us, which you may not get a lot out of your psychiatrist about what helps you with it, except drugs, because that's what they study. They study medication, but we want to know more. Look, we're hiring these doctors. We're hiring them. So we have a right to know what we're putting in our body. And I know for a fact many years ago when I couldn't check my mail and, an ex took me to an institution that they put me on Paxil, which was the main drug. It was the antidepressant, and the Xanax was to keep me calm because I was having horrible panic attacks too. I couldn't watch television because I felt really stimulated by that. It would put me into a mode of high anxiety. That's it. It would put me into a high anxiety mode. So I couldn't, the TV was hard to watch. Music that I liked was hard to watch. Couldn't check the mail. There was a lot of things going on. About 3 weeks into taking Paxil once a day, and that was nightly before bed. It was sedating, which was nice because I was getting sleep then. I started to feel better. So I'm going to say it worked for me. And I went off of it because I started busting out in a rash. So what does my psychiatrist say? Well, it's working, keep taking it, but take Benadryl for the rash. I'm like, am I having an allergic reaction to this drug? Possibly I'm having an allergic reaction to the drug, right? So why would I keep taking it and then take a Benadryl too? No. We have got to tell doctors how we feel and what we're going through. My neighbor next door, he gets a little depressed at times. Actually, he's been depressed his whole life, I guess, pretty much. He likes to be alone. He drinks, but that just puts him to sleep. But other than that, he's on medical marijuana now. And I said, well, how's that working out for you? He said, it's not. And I said, what? And he said, the medical marijuana, he's not going back to this. He had to go to a seminar first and go through all that, and then go to a doctor, and the stuff is not cheap at all. He said it's not. It's just, it's like any other time he's ever smoked dope. It just made him hungry, or, nothing. He said, but it's not helping. So he's not going to go and buy any more after he uses this up. And it's medical marijuana, so I'm thinking, this is supposed to help with so many things. But I've talked to someone else who also is on medical marijuana and for their depression, and it's not working either. And their doctor said, stay on your antidepressant. And I believe they weren't, well, can you be on 2 different antidepressants? I don't know. But they were on antidepressant, or he, and he said, stay on the antidepressant, but take the medical marijuana as well and see what happens. This person also said it's doing nothing. I don't feel any different. And if you smoke too much and you get high, then you get paranoid. So, jeez. It's just, I have to say, first of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, but I live with it, and I can tell you about the feelings and the life of living with depression and how it feels to the T. But diet has a lot to do. I mean, like we ordered pizza the other night, and I haven't had pizza in, a couple years. And because of the bread, I just really don't dig the bread. And it converts to sugar pretty quick, in your body, like most high glycemic foods. And I felt it. And it didn't feel good. And then I had bad stomach aches all night. So there's something that I don't want to do again. I'm off pizza for good. So I stopped. I was drinking Pepsi for, my whole life. And then I stopped when I ended up in the hospital with my real bad blood pressure was super high and anxiety, panic attack. That's when I called it quits. Make one change, and this is gonna end, is what I thought. And I was wrong. But I have one sin, and that is I love chocolate, and I eat a lot of chocolate. And if you put, the king-size Twix in front of me and the extra super big Hershey bar in front of me, I'm going to eat it. And that is my problem. So I am getting sugar, and there are amounts of caffeine in chocolate. I don't drink coffee. I don't do any of that. But we have to look at diet. We have to look at anything we're putting in our body that we shouldn't. Smoking cigarettes, smoking dope, whatever else. Just unhealthy foods and other things that aren't good for us. Or we don't even know if they're good for us. How's that? But the world has changed. There are more people out there with depression today than ever, when there should be less, because we have new drugs out, we have better resources, but yet we have more people with depression. I looked that up. So look at our atmosphere. Look at what we're breathing in every day. Look at what we're you know where I'm going with that. Look at all that. And then think about your mind and how you think. I tend to let negative thoughts take over me more so than the positive thoughts. And the negative thoughts definitely bring on an anxious feeling, which then will bring on an anxiety attack if I don't stop that, which then will bring on a full-blown panic attack where I'm really flipping out, which will then, bring on, I don't want to leave my home kind of crap. So for me, I'm telling you, it's just that way. And when my doctor wrote the note, and he also put down that I have PTSD, and wrote me a letter, because you get a lot of crap when you have a dog that's your service dog, which I don't use anymore because I get more crap than I have more comfort. Really, it's hard. So she's here, and I have 4 dogs, but my one is here, and I no longer take her anymore when people are always giving you crap because they don't know their laws with service dogs. So you feel like you can't win, but you can get ahead of it. You feel like you can't win, but did that even sound right? But you can get ahead of the game sometimes. I said yesterday And I'm going to say it again. Do you. If you're hurting no one and not yourself, do you. If you like to drive, go for a drive. But if you feel anxious or depressed, don't get behind the wheel if you're feeling depressed. Maybe wait. Maybe try some breathing. Deep breathing. I thought, when I read about that first, I thought, really? I'm hyperventilating. I'm sitting here, oh, this don't feel good. This is like feeling like a panic attack kind of thing, so I'm going to stop. But then I've learned, inhale slowly through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. And the more I did it, the more I learned I could bring my heart rate down, which everything else is coming down with it. It doesn't always work, but it does work sometimes. Again, I battle this every day. I had a bad night in bed last night, and I couldn't fall asleep because the things were rolling through my mind that were not good thoughts. I mean, not about hurting myself. I don't want to do that, or anybody. It was just thoughts of, is this life for the rest of my life now? I know what the good life is without this because I've lived it. I want it back. I want it back. And I'm going to have to fight for it. I'm going to have to fight for that back. And I was going to go outside today and sit on a blanket in between my trees and talk, but it started to rain. I'm in Florida, so yeah, that didn't work out. So there's so much to think about. I'm on Amazon constantly looking at books. Yeah, right? Jeez. Books. The newer ones. The more holistic approach, which I have one, it's older, much older, but it's like, I can't do that. I can't even remember some of the stuff it says, like, oh, that was something. If you're lacking magnesium, which the majority of us are, does your doctor ever do a blood test, a blood panel on you? Your general practitioner doctor. You need to have one done. Vitamin D is a contributing factor to depression. I firmly believe that. Now, I've never taken a vitamin D pill because I'm afraid it's going to make me upset in my stomach and throw up. Yeah, I don't like taking pills. So I bought the vitamin D cream. It's transdermal and it absorbs into your skin and it bypasses your liver, your kidneys, and goes into your bloodstream, and you're still getting what you need, and it tells you how to use it. And I've been doing that. It could be a placebo effect, but I do believe that, I know for a fact, I think the vitamin D, first of all, helps me a lot. Magnesium, I take a bath every now and then when I'm feeling really anxious in Epsom salt. And that's magnesium sulfate. I think it's magnesium sulfate. And you just get in a warm bath with that and you just soak your body. And your body absorbs it in. And magnesium is known to be calming. It just, these little things, they're so temporary, but yet they help at the time. And when you get out of the bathtub, don't scrub yourself dry with a towel, but pat yourself off lightly, and to get in whatever you wear to bed, and just try to breathe and focus and know that there are people like me and so many others who are going through this, and we're looking for answers too. We're looking for a way to stay calm and stay mellow and not. Depression is the demon in my life. Gosh, when it hits, it's awful. For me, I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, with depression, what happens is a lot of times I will start feeling anxious, and then that feeds my mind. I have the what ifs. Oh crap, you're feeling anxious. Why? What's wrong? And then here comes a panic attack. Try to breathe through it. If I'm lucky, I can, before I have to take a Benadryl or something to help me, which I don't like because it dries me out. But if I don't stop there, the depression kicks in, and I'm wondering why. Why did I just start feeling anxious? What was I doing? I was doing absolutely nothing, and I started feeling anxious. So none of this makes sense to me. Doctors practice, medical doctors, they're into medicine. I've not found a holistic doctor yet who can just sit there and say, this will work if you do this. Yes, I self-talk myself. I sit there and say, you have this, deal with it, and don't make a big issue out of it. Because if you do, you make it worse. So flow through it, breathe through it. It's not easy. You can't. You can't. And especially when I think about the poor people, all the people who have had depression, who self-medicated. A lot of our actors, these shadows, I'm sorry, a lot of our actors and our musicians who have battled depression, but they self-medicated with alcohol or drugs, illegal drugs, and they end up killing themselves anyway. I'm trying to get out of the shadows, I'm sorry. And they ended up killing themselves in the end. It's a very, very serious illness, and I wish people would take it much more serious than they do. Besides saying, here, try this pill, let me know how it works in 3 weeks. If it don't work, we'll try another one. We're shooting darts in the dark, and it's wrong. I'm going to say it, it's wrong. We need more. We need therapy. We do need medication, one that's going to work. Don't keep saying, oh, give it, I don't know. Jeez, I'm having a hard time with this camera. Give it a 6 months. Let's try 6 months. No, it's too long. It's too long. 6 months is too long. These pills work before 6 months. So let's look at our diet more, and maybe research foods in our diet or certain things we eat that rev us up, which is not good, and other foods that have been known to cause depression. I can't think of any certain food that causes depression. I mean, I could see if you eat at McDonald's, because I did watch Super Size Me a long time ago, and I don't know how much of that was true and how much of that was, for the movie. But I do remember him starting not to feel well in his body, then starting not to feel well in his mind, I believe. He just generally, all over, was feeling like crap. And that's eating McDonald's every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So can you imagine if he was, gaining the weight and feeling that bad? This was a fit guy, and 3 times a day. Can you imagine us if we even did it once a day? What it could do to us? It's possible. We have to look at everything there is out there. So again, this is me, and this is how I feel about it all. Had a bad night last night. Hope I have a better night tonight. And any new books that are out there would be, greatly appreciated. I know I'm not known on YouTube yet, but I sure hope I get known soon, because I don't like living like this. I don't like living like this. It's a sad life. It's a bad life. I was on a forum where some people would just check in. They had a thing where they would check in daily. I lost my password, never made a new one. It was very depressing to me to read it, because it was sad. It made me feel sad. See, that's a trigger for me. How you doing today? Oh, I couldn't go to work. I had to call in again. I'm at the risk of losing my job. People would write, or I can't get out of bed, or I haven't eaten in 3 days, or, I just want to give up. And those are all shadows. I'm sorry. Those are all bad triggers for me. Jeez. Those are all really, real bad triggers for me to hear that from other people, because I know the feeling. I've never been fired from a job, but I've worked a job while going through depression, and I looked like I wasn't changing my clothes. At that point, I wasn't showering. I wasn't doing anything for myself. I was just going there because I needed the paycheck to pay the rent, so the landlady wouldn't throw me out, so I lived in a back apartment. I remember that. That was bad. And not to say I'm over the hump and any better. I'm not. I'm leaving this house soon, which is really scary, because anything, that's my TV if you hear it, because any change in life for me tends to bring on anxiety, whether it's good or bad. It will bring on anxiety, because my depression makes me weak. It saps a lot out of me. It makes me really weak. So there are days when I can, used to walk my dogs around the block, and then I'd get a little bit down and say, screw it. I don't want to do it, because it's just sapping everything out of me. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It's avoidance. It's complete avoidance, and that's not healthy. It's not healthy to avoid anything. But I do, and I'm at home all the time, cruising the internet for information, trying to learn, trying to better myself, trying to exercise, trying. That's the word, trying. Failing a lot, but trying to plug along and make it work. It sucks, it's hard. So, thank you for listening to me, and if anybody has anything about the food situation, or, I don't know, anything that could be causing depression in people. Why are more people depressed? Well, the world is why we're depressed. Even before COVID came along, things were kind of going south. For a lot of people. So I think environment, lifestyle, food, a lot of things contribute to depression. They say that if anybody in your family was depressed, then you're going to get it. Well, I've known people who have. I knew one person who actually took their life, and nobody in the family. Gosh, they all seemed like happy people all the time. So I don't have answers. I hope somebody will help. We can all help each other. And I have to go ahead and try to find this doggone off button, which I think I did. So thank you for tuning in, and I was thinking about maybe hitting up a doctor for the medical marijuana. It's just something else to try. We'll see. Have a good evening, or day, depending where you're at. Goodbye.